devastating news. Whether you're a Cowboys fan or not, it's just unfortunate, and I'm sure everybody's feeling for this young man, Trevon Diggs, one of the best cornerbacks in the league, tore his ACL in his knee and will be out for the season. Did it in practice, Rob. Just a one-on-one drill, and tore the ACL. He'll miss the rest of the season. And first, it's just unfortunate. You hate to see anybody get hurt. You want these teams, no matter who you pull for, you want your teams to battle fair and square. And so it's just a bad loss for the NFL because he is a top player. And obviously, Rob, it's huge for the Dallas Cowboys, who, at least through 2 games, were looking like a historic defense. And they'll still be great. I think they'll still be great, and I still think they're a contender. But it's still a big loss of Trevon Diggs.
Yeah, I mean, anytime you lose a player who you were counting on, it's a blow. But the NFL is the league that every year. I mean, how many players, Chris? How many great players go down, get hurt? Aaron Rodgers, 4 snaps. I mean, this is what the NFL is.
And let's keep it real, even baseball and basketball now.
Right. But I'm just saying, in football, it's prevalent. Like, you could get hurt in a game, and those guys in baseball, they get hurt. You know what I mean? Yeah, but usually, not like football.
I think the other two get hurt just as much, but I think football, obviously, every single play, it's just more dangerous.
It's just right. That's what I mean. You know what I mean? In baseball, if you're in the outfield, you might not get hurt. If you get hit with a ball or something else. But anyway, the point is, it's very disappointing if you're the Cowboys, if you're a Cowboys fan and whatnot. But it's what you have to do. You have to shake it off, and you have to hope that somebody else can step up. And they're not going to replace him, a player of his caliber. But think about this. This season, he's only allowed 3 catches for 31 yards.
That's incredible.
And that's in 2 full NFL games.
Passer rating of 9 against him. Opposing quarterbacks have a passer rating of 9. Well, Rob, he's led the league, or he's tied, actually, since he's joined the league, with 18 interceptions, tied with J.C. Jackson. 18 interceptions in 3 years. That is tremendous. And one of the Cowboys' big strengths is their takeaways. They've led the league in takeaways the last 2 years. First team, I think, since the Pittsburgh Steelers in the 70s. Rob G., correct me if I'm wrong on that, but I think the Pittsburgh Steelers in the 70s were the last team to lead the league in takeaways 2 straight years. And they had a great chance of doing it for 3 straight years, but he obviously one of their biggest takeaway guys. And that's a big part of their game. I look, Rob, I still think they are, as I said, a contender. You still got Micah Parsons wreaking havoc. And the fact is, their front line puts so much pressure on the quarterback that does make it easier on the defensive backs. And as long as they can continue to put big pressure on the opposing team, then, they should be, they'll be pretty good. They did get Stephon Gilmore in the offseason, which was now really a great move. And, like you said, they won't be able to replace him, but this is why you've got your depth chart. And DaRon Bland, I think, will be the guy in there. So, we'll see how it goes. But I look, if they, and we don't know that they were. It was 2 games. They looked awesome in the 2 games. If they were, Rob, a cut above, say, San Francisco and Philly as the best defenses in the league, or in the NFC at least, then they're no longer that. But I think they can still, be the equal of those defenses. And they still got a shot. Now, you picked them to reach the Super Bowl. Do you think that they can still do that without Trevon?
Yeah, I mean, can they do it? Sure they can. I mean, it just depends on if you can get somebody who can just hold it down. They're going to have to go up against, and, obviously they played 2, what I would call not the greatest teams, but they did what they needed to do, and you'll have to see how that defense reacts when they play some of the better teams coming up, and then I could have a real, kind of feel for it and feel for them and see where they are. But right now, I'm gonna just stay with my pick and see what happens. It's hard for me to say, no, they're not. I know a lot of people already had the 49ers ahead of them anyway, Chris, and they were off to a 2-0 start. So everybody wasn't lockstep on the Cowboys. There's other people who believe the 49ers are the best team.
No, I didn't pick the Cowboys either.
Right. Yeah. You and a lot of people.
I can say they looked like the best team through 2 games, but Buffalo looked like the best team through 2 games last year.
They look like a monster, right?
Yeah. So but my pick was Philly. I think San Fran has been very tough.
A couple of years ago, Arizona threw 7 games. Chris, remember that? 7-0. They look like they were on their way.
Yep. So it'll be interesting if the defense does drop a notch. It'll be interesting if they have to rely more on the offense, and they shouldn't really, because like I said, the defense should still be great. But you wonder if they have to rely more on the offense, will Dak take on a bigger load and will they start putting it on his arm a little more? We'll see. But that's something that'll be interesting. And also, Rob, you wonder, obviously the players feel terrible for their teammate, and I'm sure they're going to try to use this as a rallying cry. Micah Parsons already posted something about being his brother's keeper. And, they're going to try to use this as a rallying cry. And we'll see if that, how that goes as well.
Yes, it's going to be very, very interesting for the Cowboys because it's a long season, Chris, and even longer now with the extra game. And it's you're going to lose people along the way. And it's just how much you can plug up and hold on. So they have a talented roster. Anybody thinks that they're not going to be in the mix, I think they'll be in the mix. Do they get to the Super Bowl? The Cowboys have been their own worst enemy, Chris, so could it be derailed? Yes, it can be derailed, but they have everything you need to make it happen.